You're waiting patiently in line at the pharmacy. You've got your numbered ticket. You've been standing there for 20 minutes behind elderly folks and a tired young mother. And suddenly, a woman in a hot pink velour tracksuit with her cleavage practically introducing itself barges past everyone, slaps her prescription on the counter, and demands to be served immediately because she's in a hurry. And then the pharmacist picks up the loudspeaker microphone and makes an announcement, so brutally honest that the entire store stopped shopping to watch this Karen's meltdown. This is exactly what happened at Health Plus Pharmacy on a busy Thursday afternoon when Brenda Hutchinson decided that waiting in line like everyone else was beneath her. And what she didn't know was that Dr. Patricia Moore, the head pharmacist, had a zero-tolerance policy for entitled behavior and a microphone connected to the entire store's intercom system. Let me take you back to that chaotic afternoon when the pharmacy was absolutely slammed. It was flu season, prescriptions were backed up, and the digital display showed now, serving number 47, while there were at least 15 people waiting in the organized queue system with red velvet ropes and floor markers, spaced exactly 6 feet apart per store policy. At the very front of the line stood Mr. Robert Chen, a 78-year-old Korean War veteran wearing his military cap with pins holding his walking cane in one slightly trembling hand and his prescription paper in the other. He'd been waiting patiently for about 30 minutes because his blood pressure medication needed pharmacist consultation. Behind him was Jessica Torres, a 29-year-old young mother, still in her purple hospital scrubs from her nursing shift, exhausted with dark circles under her eyes, holding her toddler's hand while clutching prescription papers for her daughter's antibiotics. She'd been waiting 25 minutes and kept checking her watch because she had to pick up her other kid from daycare. Behind Jessica were about 10 other customers, all standing on their designated floor markers, masks on, being respectful and patient despite the wait, because they understood the pharmacy staff was overwhelmed. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe to HOA Karen Tales for more wild Karen stories. Dr. Patricia Moore, the head pharmacist, was behind the counter, moving as fast as humanly possible. She was verifying prescriptions, counseling patients, answering insurance questions, and trying to maintain quality care despite the rush. And her pharmacy tech, Marcus, was running between filling prescriptions and ringing up customers at the register. The atmosphere was tense, but orderly. Everyone understood the situation, and most people were being kind, except for one person who was about to make everyone's day infinitely worse. Enter Brenda Hutchinson, age 56, storming into the pharmacy department like she owned the place, wearing a hot pink velour tracksuit jacket that was 3 sizes too small with the zipper pulled down to showcase her cleavage, and a white tank top that left nothing to the imagination, matching velour pants, white orthopedic sneakers bedazzled with rhinestones because apparently comfort and sparkle can coexist, platinum blonde, choppy hair shellacked into place with enough hairspray to violate EPA regulations, heavy makeup that looked like it was applied with a paint roller, and a massive white quilted knockoff designer purse that probably contained every coupon she'd ever clipped. Brenda marched straight past the "please take a number" ticket dispenser, completely ignored it, walked directly past the 15 people standing in the organized queue, and strutted right up to the pharmacy counter where Dr. Moore was in the middle of counseling Mr. Chen about his blood pressure medication side effects. Brenda, without any greeting or acknowledgement of the line, slapped her prescription paper on the counter, literally slapped it down like she was playing a winning poker hand, and said in the loudest, most entitled voice imaginable, "I need this filled immediately. I don't have time to wait." Dr. Moore, who was mid-sentence explaining to Mr. Chen about taking medication with food, paused, looked up at Brenda, and said calmly and professionally, "Ma'am, I'll be with you shortly. Please take a number and wait in the queue." Brenda's face scrunched up like she'd just tasted expired milk, and she huffed, "Excuse me, I don't need a number. I just need my prescription. It'll take you 2 seconds." Dr. Moore, still maintaining professional composure, said, "Ma'am, everyone here has been waiting, some for over 30 minutes. Please take a number at the dispenser, and I'll help you when it's your turn." Brenda, absolutely incredulous that she was being told to wait like a common peasant, raised her voice. "I have been a customer of this pharmacy for 15 years. I spend thousands of dollars here, and you're telling me I have to wait behind all these people?" She gestured dismissively toward the line, like the waiting customers were invisible obstacles rather than human beings. Mr. Chen, the elderly veteran, turned around slowly and said in his gentle, polite voice, "Miss, we've all been waiting. Please, just get a number." And Brenda literally looked at him and said, "I wasn't talking to you. Grandpa, mind your business." The entire line gasped. Someone actually gasped out loud. And Jessica, the tired nurse mom, said, "Hey, that's incredibly rude. He's been waiting longer than anyone." Brenda whipped around and snapped, "Well, maybe if people didn't take forever asking a million questions, the line would move faster." Marcus, the pharmacy tech, who'd been watching this unfold while counting pills, stepped over to Dr. Moore and whispered, "Should I call the manager?" But Dr. Moore held up one finger, indicating, "Give me a minute." Because she was a professional who believed in giving people one more chance before escalating, Dr. Moore said very clearly and slowly, "Ma'am, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please take a number from the dispenser. Wait in the designated queue, and I will help you when your number is called. That is our policy, and it applies to everyone equally." Brenda, now fully committed to her tantrum, put both hands on her hips, pushed her cleavage even further forward like it was a weapon of negotiation, and said, "I want to speak to the head pharmacist right now." Dr. Moore, without missing a beat, gestured to her white coat with the name badge that clearly read Dr. Patricia Moore, Far Head Pharmacist, and said, "You're speaking to her, and I'm telling you to wait in line." Brenda's eyes went wide. Her fuchsia lipstick-covered mouth opened and closed like a fish. And then she did the unthinkable. She reached across the counter, grabbed her prescription paperback, and said, "Fine, I'll just fill this myself," and started to walk behind the counter toward the medication shelves. Marcus immediately stepped in front of her and said, "Ma'am, you cannot go back there. That's a restricted pharmaceutical area." And Brenda actually tried to push past him, screaming, "I just need my cream for my rash." "Where is it?" Dr. Moore, now done with patience, pressed a button under the counter that locked the pharmacy gate and simultaneously picked up the phone that connected to the store-wide loudspeaker system. Yes, the same loudspeaker that announces sales and pages employees. the one that echoes through every aisle of the entire massive retail store. The entire pharmacy went silent as Dr. Moore raised the phone to her mouth, and everyone in line held their breath, wondering what was about to happen. Dr. Moore's voice, calm, professional, and absolutely ruthless, BMD through every speaker in the building. Attention health plus customers and staff. This is Dr. Moore in the pharmacy. We currently have a customer in a hot pink tracksuit who has cut in front of 15 waiting patients, refused to take a number, insulted an elderly military veteran, attempted to access restricted pharmaceutical areas, and is demanding immediate service because apparently her time is more valuable than everyone else's. If you'd like to witness someone having a complete meltdown over being asked to wait in line like a civilized human being, please feel free to come watch the show at the pharmacy counter. Otherwise, please continue shopping, and thank you for your patience during this busy flu season. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button and share this video to support HOA Karen Tales. The silence that followed was absolutely deafening, and then you could hear its starting footsteps from other departments. Customers walking over from the grocery aisles, employees pausing their stocking to peek around corners, all eyes turning toward the pharmacy. Brenda's face went from entitled confidence to pure mortified horror in exactly 2.5 seconds. Her heavily mad-up face turned the same shade as her hot pink tracksuit. Her mouth dropped open. Her pearl earrings practically trembled with rage and humiliation, and she stammered, How dare you announce that over the you can't? That's slander. Dr. Moore, still holding the microphone, said directly to Brenda, but also still broadcasting, Ma'am, it's not slander if it's the truth, which can be verified by the 15 witnesses standing in line and the security cameras recording this entire interaction. Now, you can either take a number and wait respectfully, or you can leave the premises. Those are your two options. By now, at least 20 store employees and customers had gathered at the edges of the pharmacy department, watching, some recording on their phones, others just standing with arms crossed, waiting to see what Brenda would do. Mr. Chen, the elderly veteran, turned around again and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, Ma'am, I've been waiting 37 minutes for my heart medication. You can wait to sell fun. And several people in line actually started clapping. Slow clap at first, then building to genuine applause. Jessica, the exhausted nurse mom, added, I've been on my feet for 12 hours at the hospital, saving lives, and I'm waiting patiently. You can, too. And more applause erupted. Brenda, now surrounded by a crowd of witnesses, security cameras, and a pharmacist with a microphone who had absolutely no fear, started to crack. Her lips trembled, her eyes welled up with tears that threatened to create mascara rivers down her overly contoured cheeks. And she grabbed her prescription paper and said in a shaky voice, This is abuse. I'm calling corporate. I'm calling the Better Business Bureau. I'm going to have your license revoked. Dr. Moore, completely unfazed, said, Ma'am, corporate already knows about this interaction because it's being recorded. The Better Business Bureau will review the security footage and see you attempted to access restricted areas. And the State Board of Pharmacy will see that. I protected patient safety by refusing to serve someone who violated pharmacy protocols. So, please make all the calls you want. Want to hear the craziest HOA tales every week? Subscribe to HOA Karen Tales and never miss out. Brenda, realizing she had lost in the most public and humiliating way possible, let out a sound that can only be described as a wounded peacock screech, turned on her bedazzled orthopedic heels, and stormed toward the exit. But not before knocking over the hand sanitizer station in a final petty act of defiance, which only made the crowd of onlookers shake their heads and mutter about her behavior. As she waddled away in her too tight velour, someone in the crowd yelled, "Bye, Karen," and laughter rippled through the gathered audience. The moment Brenda exited the pharmacy department, Dr. Moore calmly placed the microphone down, turned to Mr. Chen, and said, "I am so sorry for that interruption, Mr. Chen. Now, let's finish discussing your medication. You'll want to take it in the morning with breakfast to minimize dizziness." And she continued his consultation like nothing had happened, which honestly made her even more legendary. Mr. Chen, with tears in his kind elderly eyes, said, "Thank you for standing up for us, young lady. In my day, we called that having a backbone." And Dr. Moore smiled warmly and said, "Just doing my job, sir. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect, especially our veterans." The line, which had been tense and frustrated, suddenly became the friendliest pharmacy queue in history. People started chatting with each other, sharing their own Karen stories. And even though they were still waiting, the atmosphere had completely shifted to one of solidarity and humor. Jessica, the nurse mom, told the woman behind her, "I swear, working in healthcare, you see entitled people all the time." But that was next level, and they bonded over their shared exhaustion and mutual satisfaction at watching someone finally face consequences. Marcus, the pharmacy tech, high-fived Dr. Moore when she stepped away from the counter for a brief moment, and she whispered, "I probably shouldn't have done that with the loudspeaker." And Marcus said, "Are you kidding? That was the most epic thing I've ever witnessed. You're about to become a viral legend." And he was right, because at least 5 people in that crowd had recorded the entire interaction. And by that evening, multiple videos were circulating on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, with captions like "Pharmacist destroys entitled Karen on store loudspeaker," and "Karen cuts pharmacy line. Pharmacist announces it to entire store." The videos collectively got over 8 million views in 3 days, and Dr. Patricia Moore became an internet hero with comments like this: "Pharmacist deserves a raise and a medal." And finally, someone in customer service who doesn't let Karens win, and the way she stayed calm while publicly dragging her was chef's kiss. But the story doesn't end there, because 2 hours after Brenda's dramatic exit, she apparently did call corporate, and the district manager actually showed up at the pharmacy that same evening to review the incident. Dr. Moore, prepared for potential discipline, had already pulled the security footage and prepared her statement. But when the district manager reviewed everything, the footage showing Brenda cutting the line, insulting customers, attempting to access restricted areas, and causing a scene, he actually laughed and said, "Patricia, you handled that perfectly. We'll be sending you a formal commendation." And yes, she's calling every number she can find to complain. But with this footage, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. He also informed Dr. Moore that Brenda had a history of complaints at 3 other Health Plus locations for similar behavior, and corporate had actually been building a case to ban her from all stores and this incident was the final straw. So Brenda Hutchinson was officially banned from every Health Plus pharmacy in the region. The district manager even asked permission to use the security footage with faces blurred. Privacy in employee training as an example of how to handle entitled customers while maintaining professionalism, and Dr. Moore agreed. Meanwhile, back at the pharmacy, business continued as usual. Mr. Chen got his blood pressure medication and a warm handshake from Dr. Moore. Jessica got her daughter's antibiotics and a coupon for future purchases as an apology for the disruption. And every single customer in that line left with their prescriptions, smiles on their faces, and a story they'd be telling at dinner parties for years. The next day, someone left a box of donuts at the pharmacy counter with a note that said, "For the pharmacist with the mic drop, thank you for standing up to that, Karen." And Dr. Moore shared them with her staff while they laughed about the previous day's chaos. Several customers from the line actually came back specifically to thank Dr. Moore in person, including Mr. Chen, who brought her a handwritten thank you card that said, "You restored my faith that kindness and justice still exist with gratitude." A 78-year-old veteran who's seen a lot but never seen someone handled that beautifully. As for Brenda, she tried to get her prescription filled at 3 competing pharmacies, but word had spread through the local pharmacy network because pharmacists talk. And when she showed up at the CVS across town, the pharmacist there said, "Oh, you're the hot pink tracksuit lady from the video. We have a wait time of about 3 hours. Is that okay?" And Brenda, recognizing she'd become infamous, left without another word. She eventually had to drive 45 minutes to a pharmacy in another town where nobody knew her, paid out of pocket because they didn't take her insurance, and learned absolutely nothing from the experience because 2 months later, there was another video of her screaming at a Starbucks barista about foam levels. Thanks for watching HOA Karen Tales, where every Karen story has a twist. Like, share, and subscribe for more drama from the neighborhood. The moral of this story: public shame is sometimes the only language entitled people understand. And when you treat service workers like they're beneath you, don't be surprised when they have the tools and the microphone to expose your behavior to the world. And sometimes the most powerful response to entitlement isn't escalation. It's just calm, factual truth delivered with absolutely zero tolerance for nonsense. And remember, every person waiting in line is a human being with their own struggles, their own pain, their own needs. So maybe, just maybe, your cream for your rash can wait 15 minutes while an elderly veteran gets his heart medication. And if that's too much to ask, you deserve every second of that loudspeaker announcement.